Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you a video um produced by a YouTuber named Caleb Ammer. He does a lot he does a number of videos basically educating people about finances and um ultimately trying to help people get back into a good financial position. And I thought his video is always quite informative, and I'd like to share a few of my thoughts and ideas about this particular situation that is currently trying to educate this individual on. So let's get started.
Very good tacos. I
Oh,
was thinking.
I
This is
began.
Chris, 32, out of Austin, Texas, financial audit. Beautiful. Thanks for calling out of Austin. What do you do here in Austin for a living? Oh, I cut yards. Oh, very cool. Landscaping. Awesome. Hmm. Okay. I don't want you to tell me exactly where for privacy reasons, but if we're going to talk north, south, east, west, pick the direction. West. Okay. Have you ever been to this?
It looks like it's gonna go into a bit of a tangent here, so we're gonna just skip a little bit of this and get into the meat.
There was a lot of food places near there, and I went there, and but every single person that was there had to make in this job. I honestly
Okay.
don't know because I don't.
Well, that's not a good sign. You know, when the first thing they ask you was what you make in your job and your answer is I honestly don't know. Like that's quite a difficult situation for anyone to be in. But I can understand that is the nature of the work that he does can sometimes present in a way where people often may not truly understand fully the financial um, income that they're bringing in on a monthly basis. Um, this is one of the major challenges that confront. I feel like those in the lower class and those in the working class is that oftentimes because of the nature of the work they do and um, the fluctuation that often occur in the work that they do can often be challenging, but it's quite rare. I've never actually had a situation where somebody clearly don't fully understand what they bring in on a monthly basis, and that is challenging for me.
Really, because I do. How do you? I handle everything. I take care of the calls, I do the appointments. Also, I'm at the job sites. And then you have a team under you. Yes, I have like 3 guys. Is this like?
Oh, it sounds like he's actually kind of running his own business. But if you're running your own business, you'd think you'd have a bit of a grasp as to what your business is bringing in. It's a little challenging that he doesn't quite know.
Your business? Yes, my father gave it to me. Oh,
Mm.
wow, very cool. It's your business. You pay people. Do you know how much money comes into the business? I honestly don't know.
Wow.
That skip.
Wow. He's running a business and he doesn't know what it brings in. That is very that's quite a difficult situation to be in. Okay, scrap what I said earlier. Is obviously in a much difficult situation where that entire scenario I was trying to explain earlier doesn't quite even align with his own scenario, right? Is clearly bringing in a decent amount of money, really. But nonetheless, let's get going.
Scares the fuck out of me. Yeah, I know, right? You got people to take care of. I know, yeah. I mean, all my bills are paid up. No, I know, yeah, but like without managing, like. Yeah. You mentioned beforehand that you're married, correct? Yes. Do you have any kids? Yes, 4 altogether. 4? Wow, what are the ages? 12, 6, 5, and no, 7, 6, and 5. Very cool. So that's another reason why it's like, okay, we need know how much money's
Of course,
coming.
yeah, that's why I came on here. Yeah, I need to get some help.
Yeah.
See where I'm going with this direction.
I have a checking account,
Mm-hmm.
singular.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a business?
It sounds like he's actually, quite financially illiterate. When it comes to a lot of these issues, I find that a lot of people who come onto these shows, um, uh, especially when they're quite in the lower income brackets, it can be very challenging for them to kind of grasp um, the full nature of their finances and how that kind of plays into what they're actually able to bring in and what they're able to spend on.
Checking account?
I don't.
It comes to you and then you pay these people?
Mm-hmm.
Are they on like contractor status? Do they fill out a W-9 for?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, that is scary. These people are not paying taxes. That's a bunch of messed up situation, to put it plainly. You do not want to be messing around with the government when it comes to their money. Uncle Sam would always want to get their own cut. So, yikes! I'm quite scared for this guy.
Okay. Whew, okay, this is a lot more going in this conversation than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
This is taking a. Okay. So, wow. Okay.
We're doing what we can just to survive. I'm trying to pay. I'm back 1 year in taxes because I didn't have my IEN number, but I have that. And
You have it now.
Yeah, I have it now. Yes, sir. I have that now, and I'm gonna file this year.
What do you owe from last year?
From last year, I only owe I have two 1099s. I think that's what they're called or something, and it's maybe like 3,000.
How much money did you the business claim as last year as revenue? Like how much money came? What was your profits from last year?
I don't even know.
How'd you file your tax? How'd you get this number 3,000? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, that's what I got from 1099s. That's all I got.
Oh, I gotcha. From who? Who gave you those 1099s?
I do. This guy has a property management company that he has me maintain his houses.
Sorry, I'm just gonna reposition it to you.
Wow.
Yeah, I have to maintain his.
I think he's not fully understanding that as a business owner, that he needs to also file taxes for his business, even though he's also working with someone else. Those people are gonna obviously give him a T4 or whatever, to be able to file on on a yearly basis. But for his business, he also needs to file for that as well on a separate note. And I don't think he's fully understanding that that's something he needs to be doing. So on top of whatever the 3,000 is that he's claiming that he owes the government, he also needs to now realize that he owes way more than that $3,000 that he potentially hasn't quite considered when he's spending his money on a monthly basis. Yeah, that is quite a difficult situation. That is very chai.
And I maintain a marina lot that they also make me do all that too.
So those are your main clients. Do you make any more money outside of that?
Somewhat, come along and stuff.
Okay, so I mean that wouldn't be calculated into it then, because you. Okay.
Now I'm trying to get off.
I can see Caleb kind of like struggling to fully like grasp the full nature of his financial situation. And unfortunately, like a lot of people, because they're not educated when it comes to finances from an early age, and they don't have the luxury of understanding how a number of these things work. It can be very challenging, to fully understand the nature of what they need to do in order to be able to meet their obligation for tax filing purposes. Yeah, I feel sorry for him, but unfortunately, he's going to have to cough up a lot more money than the $3,000 he thinks he has to pay to the government.
Oh, legit, trying to, because when my dad handed me this company, like no insurance, no nothing. So I'm slowly like we had no website, so got the website, got insurance, because anything happens, we're liable, So got the insurance, and I'm just trying to be everything legit, get the taxes going on and everything,
Yeah.
Try to be, you know,
This is why you own four vehicles, isn't it?
yes, yes. Well, one of them's my mom, and I have three.
Why do you have three?
Well, for
It is for work.
yes, they're all.
So your employees use them.
Well, I mostly drive the truck because it's under my name.
And the other two?
Well, in case one breaks down, I have the backup and then my personal
How
truck.
often does it break down?
They actually break down fairly often. I want to say maybe like once or twice a year, and so I have the back one. But
So it sounds like he has he has three trucks. Of course, he hasn't quite shared the financial situation with us, but I can quite predict that those trucks probably cost him quite a lot of money. Not to talk of the gas and the maintenance and all the other things that he's alluding to. I think one can assume that he's probably paying significant amount of money to maintain those trucks.
So instead of having like a mechanic on call emergency fund, uh, in order to fix it, maybe we're down for a day, depending on the situation. So I guess it makes sense to have a backup fleet in a business that relies on it. I definitely get that. We don't know how much money's coming in. We don't, with all this unknown, it's like, do we have an emergency fund of cars? Do we have an emergency? How much is in your savings right now? Okay, so I want to add a little context because normally I wouldn't need to ask that. We did have a little difficulty going through your documents. They were a little harder. I mean, the bank you're with is terrible.
oh, I know what USU.
Yes. So crap, they don't even show starting balances, ending balances, and you were like not yelling with them, but you were on like long phone calls trying to get statements. Just terrible. First of all, I would just switch banks.
Oftentimes, that's what you see with a lot of people who are in financial difficulties, is that they often don't get the best financial tools. They often are overcharged for what they are currently receiving when it comes to their financial tools that they have available to them. It's quite an all-around difficult situation to be in because they're probably not getting the best interest rates for their money if they do have any money in their accounts. um, yeah, quite a challenging situation for him.
Second of all, you need to get a business checking account that all the money from the business comes.
Exactly. I think that's one point that I quite like that he's making, that even though he's claiming that he doesn't know what he's bringing in and what he's taking out from the business, I think one of the things that he needs to get in place in order to be able to make sure that his own personal finances doesn't mix with the business finances is to have a business checking account in place. That way he can do business transactions separately from his own financial transactions.
Comes in there, then you pay your employees through there, and you capture distributions from there.
Okay.
If it's gonna be like an LLC,
Yes. Yes.
just makes managing things so much easier. But
Of course. Thank
this
you.
is
Appreciate it.
yeah. Has anyone ever suggested getting a business checking account before?
No, like my dad is like from Mexico. My dad's from Mexico. He came here like on his bare feet. It took him 2 weeks to get to Austin. Bare walking, and so he's built this from the ground up. And
Wow. I quite admire people who have walked through such difficult situations to make something of themselves in a new country. And I can quite relate to that. As a first generation Canadian myself, I know the kind of sacrifices and difficulties my parents um, made in order for us to be able to live in this country. So I never once take those things for granted, and I quite admire his own courage, to take on the business of his family. However, if you're gonna do that, you also want to make sure that you're doing things in a very legitimate manner. But again, I guess that can be very difficult in his own situation, where many of those informations are not necessarily available to him or to his family.
And we've done fairly well.
Walk to Austin.
Yeah, took him 2 weeks.
Damn.
Barefoot.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Okay, how much is in savings?
I've got about 10K because every year for the past 3 years I've been hit with a $10,000 car bill, repair bill.
Really? What's been breaking?
This black truck, the black Ram.
Yeah.
That mother. That that mother. It's big, lifted. It's a manual transmission. It's diesel. It was my dream truck, right? But it came with issues. I've gone through 3 transmissions in it.
So
Wow. I don't even know anything about car, but it sounds very expensive. Unfortunately, I guess he probably does need those truck in order to be able to do the business he's currently doing, and in order to be able to sustain his family. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to be able to do in that scenario, but I think definitely if he's going through $10,000 in expenses for his car, he's definitely gonna need way more money than the $10,000 he thinks he has in his account.
you do have like an actual. So originally, I kind of joked and prodded at you, saying instead of having an emergency fund, we have an emergency cars. But you actually do have kind of an emergency fund, so that's actually good.
Yeah, I have some money saved up. Yeah, but every time I save up, I get hit.
You get hit, yeah. And then you have to replenish it as quick as possible.
Exactly. And every time I save up to 10, 15,000, I get hit with a $12,000 car bill. Because they're all diesels. All I drive is diesels, and so diesel repairs are really expensive.
Yeah. So because of the checking account statement, I couldn't even see how much came in. I want to take a brief moment to thank today's episode sponsor.
Wow. His financial situation is definitely way more complex than I imagine it would be, but yeah.
Emilio, this is for you if you are a business owner and you want to spend more time.
I'm not gonna give him any more advertisements. If you want to sponsor my video and get my video sponsored, reach out to me in my email address that I have linked on my channel. I'm always looking to get sponsors for my videos, and if you're enjoying my content, I'd love to bring quality financial products to you guys that can also benefit you. So if you love this kind of stuff, and you have financial products that you think, or any other product that you think would be a good fit for my channel, reach out to me and I will be more than happy to share them on my video.
Yeah, just a guess.
Okay. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, I'm just.
I bet it is.
I'm just trying to think of how to even start.
Yeah, I brought you some work.
Yeah. Do you have an does your checking account have an app?
Yeah, I have. I have all 3 accounts in the same bank.
Okay.
I have all the truck loans through the one bank. I have it all through one bank. My one credit card, my highest credit cards in that one bank. I don't even try to use. I use that credit card for like emergencies. For like one time, I had a truck repair for like 3,000. I didn't have cash, so I used the credit card. But I paid that. I try to pay it off completely.
And it's paid off right now?
Yeah, it's paid off. Yeah.
Good.
I only owe like $25.
So your debts are the car debts, the vehicle debts.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Not that I know.
Mortgage? Do you have a mortgage?
No, I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to shoot for like 5 years to build my house. Because yeah, I have some property on.
Yeah.
And hopefully to save, if nothing happens, hopefully within 5 years I'll have enough to build my house, rent it out to somebody, have somebody else pay it while I live with my wife.
Like in the same house, or
yeah,
like
I live with my wife right now. She has a 2-story house that her.
Oh.
Yes, her parents have blessed her with the rent, for like being $500, at a 2-story house.
So you just want to build a house for people to rent out?
Well, my parents have real estate that they have built over the years out of this company, and so I want to add to that real estate. I want to be like my father. I want to add to the real estate. I want to build my house.
Yeah,
I
for
like
sure.
my father.
No, that's a great goal.
And then realistically, I would have to
Hmm.
save about 50,000.
I'm a little bit sketched out by a number of things I'm hearing, especially when it comes to taxes, man. Like I don't know. I'm quite a little bit skeptical about a number of things I'm hearing from him. Um, yeah, I guess if his family is very well off, I don't understand if you're able to build such house and such wealth, then how do you not have a better understanding of finances than you currently do? I'm a little bit there's a bit of a disconnect between what I'm hearing and what I'm envisaging that should be the reality. And I think that's kind of where the challenge is.
Just like to put like a 20, 30,000 down payment,
Oh, I see.
and then have some cushion to fall back on.
So you're taking debt out for it. You're not building it with cash. Okay.
No, I can't do that.
So $10,000 is what's in savings. What's in checking right now?
Like two,
Okay.
like 17.
Do you have anything in retirement funds?
No.
Okay, you're 32. That scares me.
Yeah, I know.
That scares me. Do you know what happens when a parent can't retire?
Um, no.
Their
Work to
kids.
death.
Their kid. Yeah, you try, but what if something happens to you? And the social,
I know.
security isn't great. Okay, their kids feel morally responsible to take care of them, so they put things, their goals, their lives, whatever they're trying to do, build a family, contribute to their own retirement, gets put on pause because the parents before them didn't do the mature and responsible things necessary to set themselves up for retirement.
Mm.
So they're not saying, all right, kiddo, sitting down, you're going to take care of me when I retire. No, that conversation's not happening. But a kid's also not going to let their, mom and pa that they love to death die and starve cold on the street. So they end up feeling morally responsible. So $0 in retirement at 32, me sitting over here, like chilled on my spine. Just that, sinking gut feeling.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
scary. That's
That is something I find difficult as well. Again, but then I understand, right? Like he's kind of like brought up in a family where financial literacy is not necessarily um, perhaps something that's talked about in his household growing up, because his own family probably didn't quite have that knowledge available to them. So he doesn't quite have that financial savviness to think, okay, maybe I should, now that I'm still able to walk and put in that hard work into my business and my other ventures, maybe I should be setting aside a little bit of money towards my own retirement and to be able to give to my family at some point when I do get old enough, where I'm not able to work the kind of job that I currently do. I think that's quite a bit of a difficult situation.
scary. Also, you're very tan.
Yes.
Do you wear sunscreen every day?
I don't.
Wear sunscreen. Wear sunscreen. You're out in that sun all the time, and the Texas sun is no joke. I'm from Michigan, so I never got burned up there with the little bit of Native American.
As you may know, I this is actually one rant that I actually quite agree with. As a person with albinism, sunscreen is one of those things that I think everyone needs to wear. I don't care who you are, whether or not you're black, African, Latino, white. You should all be wearing sunscreen. I'm gonna go on that rant any day, anytime, because cancer is no joke. Skin cancer is no joke. You know, people with albinism are more susceptible to cancer. Um, but, you know, cancer is not necessarily something that shows up immediately for anyone. So, taking all the necessary precautions to keep your skin in check, and doing those yearly checks with your doctor to make sure that you don't have any cancerous spots developing is one of those things that you can do for yourself. So yeah, I definitely do agree with him that people needs to wear more sunscreen.
I have like 25%.
Yeah, I just tend to get darker.
Yeah, but also the sun
I
just
know. I
beating
know. My
on you.
dad tells me.
At least do your face. It keeps
Yeah.
you looking young and
I wear
pretty.
a hat. You know, I wear a hat.
Okay, well,
That's something, right? Better than nothing.
better than nothing. But I would rather also just not have skin cancer. So let's okay. The debt. We need to. I'm gonna go through your app. I'm gonna try to figure out how much money comes in. But let's just get through the debt. So we have a 2017 Chevy Traverse.
Mm-hmm. That's my mom's.
So you took out a debt for your mom's car.
Again, this is another sign of somebody that doesn't quite fully understand and is not able to grasp the financial ramifications of taking out loans for other family members or um, I know that in our culture as well that being able to support your family and being able to help your family is one of those things that's prioritized. However, you don't want to do it at your own expense. You don't want to do it at the scenario. You don't want to put yourself in a scenario where if things go wrong, you're going to be on the hook for something that you may not be able to financially maintain, right? If you're able to maintain it, if things go wrong, go ahead and do it. But in this scenario, it doesn't sound like he's in any position to be able to support his parents in order to be able to um, maintain the financial conditions of that car.
I sure did.
Why?
Because I felt like I owed it to her. Her
Why?
cars were breaking down, and when I was a drug addict, I like wrecked her car.
Drug addict.
Yeah.
When was this and when did it end?
I've been sober from hard drugs for about 2 years now,
Yeah, come on.
and alcohol going on 2 years as well.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, may I ask what you did?
Oh, dude, I did everything on the song.
Yeah, the reason why I'm laughing is not that I'm making jest of his condition. I think it's quite admirable what he's able to accomplish with his life. Dude, I completely um want to share how much I'm so proud of what he's able to accomplish with his life when it comes to people who are facing such difficult situations. I work in mental health and I see it every day. The amazing courage that people with mental health brings to their passion on a daily basis is quite admirable. Um, and again, I want to continue to encourage him to keep it up. I know that addiction is one of those things that's very very difficult to break. But if you're able to break it, it's quite an immense thing that can transform your life and can change the way in which um, the trajectory of your life for the rest of your life. So quite proud of him.
I was open. Xanax, everything. I actually quit cold turkey.
Really?
Yeah, no AA, cold turkey.
How was that?
It was pretty.
Yeah.
But my dad always told me it takes balls to want to do it, and so I kind of just quit cold.
Dude, you did like the hardest thing known to man.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I was bad. I was bad.
Yeah.
But no, I'm good now.
How long did it last of you being through those addictive stages?
Dude, I started hard when I was 21.
Wow, okay.
So I was really bad into alcohol, and then when I wasn't doing it, it was better, But
How long have you been with your wife?
going to 3 years.
Okay, so it's around that time you decided to clean up.
Yeah, actually, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
She actually told me it was either her or.
Reasonable.
Yeah, and we have a family
Wow.
together. So.
See, sometimes like having such change in people's life can actually be a catalyst for massive change. If you have something to live for, you can really change the way in which your life turns around. And in his case, it seems like he found someone that was able to help him through that journey. I quite admire this man, and the courage that he's able to bring on to such difficult situations It's incredible. It's incredible.
So it was like, it's an easy choice.
Yeah, how have you been since then? Have you taken steps to mitigate potential relapses? What are we looking like?
Every day is a struggle, but
Yeah.
I try to stay occupied. I have my 4 kids. I work. I literally go work, go home, tend to the kids. My wife's sick right now, so I have to tend to her too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
What is she sick with?
She's all fucked up, man. She's got like rheumatoid arthritis and really bad flare-ups, and it just
Okay.
yeah.
So chronic. Okay. So, but as far as at least I understand it, in my lack of knowledge with that, that's not a, you know, like she's gonna be here for a while with us. Good. Okay, that was my main concern. So we obviously on a chronic condition, you're there to help and you help often, but this isn't something that we're good. Out of all the bad news, I guess at least it's better than terrible, right?
I'm very blessed to be in my situation. I need for nothing. I take care of my parents. I take care of my kids. I take care of my wife. I take care of everybody. And
So yeah, I definitely get you wanting to get a car for your mom, especially with your history, what you've been through, and I guess what you did likely under the influence of something. Man, if we met when you got this though, I could have got you to get this car in cash. You wouldn't be paying.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's another thing you gotta think about, right? Like, there are other options. It's not all or nothing in those kind of situations where you're getting cars. As I always try and encourage, and I guess Caleb also suggests, if you're gonna buy a car, buy used, right? Like, there's nothing better than buying a car that's, maybe a couple years old, and you buy it for $10,000. Put $10,000 down in cash, save up for it, eat rice and beans for however long it's going to take you to be able to put down that $10,000, and buy it cash, buy it outright, and then you own it, and you're not having to pay ridiculous interest rates on an asset that's continuing to depreciate on a daily basis. Um, I definitely don't agree with people going out and buying brand new cars.
An 8.2% interest rate on it at 72 months long.
Yes, AEC 8.2%. That's almost not even close to what a lot of people make in the stock markets, right? If you put that money and you invest it in the stock market, it could be doing wonders for you. But in this case, you're giving it to people like myself. Yeah, it's quite sad.
Car. Yeah, no. Getting car down. $6,831.68 is still owed on it, and a minimum monthly payment of $767. No, sorry. 760 was the interest paid last year. Minimum monthly payment is
340 or 374. I have that on my phone.
okay, 374. These are gonna stack up real quick. Now, have you met with a CPA when it comes to taxes?
My wife was actually, we were talking about that right before coming here, that she was going to hook me up with her CPA and get my taxes in order. So.
Yes, I think that's mission number one.
Yeah, I think he needs to. I think he needs to get his taxes in order. I think that's one of the biggest thing that could screw him up. I love the fact that he's on track to building a really successful life for himself. But one thing that can really screw everything up is if he doesn't continue to get taxes right. That can be a very very difficult situation in the long run, where he's going to end up paying significant amount of money to the government.
Actually, because what they can help with is go through and deduct a lot of this stuff. That's what the business. Now again, I wish we had I wish we purchased the car as a formed LLC. Which I wish you purchased it through the business. There's still a lot of things, but
Yeah. There are lots of tools that's available for people starting a business. Unfortunately, Financial literacy is one of those things that I think ought to really be taught from high school, if not elementary school. Because people want, like, a lot of people jump out of high school and they go on and start their own business. A lot of people are building YouTube channels, doing all this kind of financial influencers and all that kind of stuff nowadays. And many of them don't really fully understand the financial implications of those things and how that's going to impact their tax bills at the end of the day, right? That's something they've got to think about.
Well, let's just continue going through. So, loan application, loan amount, 72 months. What's this loan currently at? Because, again, these payments are a little difficult. I don't know
That
what this
one
is.
is this one I got 20,000 at 3.7. So the loan is 20,000 for 70.
Currently at 20,000.
Yes.
Oh, 20,000. Yes, the interest rate is pretty good on this. What is this? What car is this?
This is a 2500 diesel Duramax. They're made to last.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, well, they're diesels. They're made to last like more than 400.
Again, more car stuff that I have no interest in
No, that's the
or
Ram.
know anything
The
about.
Ram.
All I see when I hear car is money down the drain.
The Ram is
But again, I have my own thing. Mine is watches. Watches can be quite expensive as well. And repairs on watches can also be quite expensive. So, all men and
Great.
we all have our toys.
Great. I'm glad. Dream truck. I have a dream of
It's only I live within my own means.
$605.83, right?
Never buy anything on debts that you cannot pay off.
I like that. As far as a car goes, lovely.
Yeah, I even right now interest rates have gone up.
This must be the Ram.
Yeah.
What's the
Wow,
Ram?
$45,000 on a car.
That one's almost.
That is insane. That's almost a down payment for a house.
At 15,000. Almost.
15,000 is almost done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, at a 14% interest rate of death, insanity will ruin me now.
Yeah.
$765.10 minimum monthly payment. That kills me.
More and more debt.
Traverse. We already saw the Traverse, so that's not this.
Those are the payments that.
Oh, yeah.
Were that amount.
345. So there's another car, right? Isn't there a fourth car? Or is it just three
the
cars?
2013. I have a 2013
13 what?
Chevy Silverado Duramax. Another Duramax.
What year is the other one?
2011.
Jeez, lots of Duramaxes.
Yeah.
What's owed on that?
That one I
the
just
2013?
recently got. Yeah. Just recently got.
For why?
Well, the black Ram that was to me, I got into an accident and.
Wow. So you got into an accident and your first thought is, oh, let me go and get another car that's going to be expensive. Get into more debt. Oh my God. The financial literacy that many people in this kind of positions have, it's jarring to think that this is the next step for a lot of people. But again, people just simply don't have the financial tools to recognize that, maybe this is not the next thing to embark upon. I can understand that in his mind he's probably justifying it by saying, "Oh, I need to get it in order for me to do my business." But there are other ways to do that.
I'm expecting something. They're supposed to pay that out, so I'm supposed to be done with that one here pretty soon. I won't owe anything on that, and so I had to get another truck.
Wait. So, what are you getting? How much?
I'm not supposed to talk about that.
But enough to pay off the 15,000.
Oh yeah, dude. I should be getting a good amount.
Enough to pay off this.
They're supposed to pay that and give me some.
Okay, will it cover the 2013?
Yeah. No.
Just the 2011.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the 2013 balance?
That one's at 29,000.
It seems like it seems like in some sense he's making away with some money in this kind of shitty situation. Hey, if he's able to make that work, it might be good. But in my mind, I still don't think that that's the way to go.
My phone. I have on my info on my phone if you want.
What's the minimum monthly payment?
That one's 600. I got that one down to 7% interest. From 14, that's a hell of a lot better.
It is. I just don't want to celebrate 7%.
Well, I would celebrate the 3%, but that's the only thing.
Yes.
But that's what interest rates have doubled. That's what the 700 credit score is, 7%. Interest rates have definitely gone up. So
give me one moment.
Yeah, of course, take your time.
Looking into something. How about you?
Oh yeah, no, I don't think I haven't seen that one.
You should go there. I want to hear your review.
Okay.
On this. It's where I used to go. It was by my office in Steiner Ranch, and it's good. And like everyone, it's on 620. It's by Mansfield Dam, by Steiner Ranch. Everyone there worked in lawn care, except for me. It was fun. Okay. Yes. Sorry, quick detour. I was so curious. Yeah. It was tasty. But also, I was from Michigan, where like tacos barely exist outside of Taco Bell. So I was like, I think anything when I first came down here was incredible. What is this?
Here he is going on his little tangent about tacos and lawnmowers. Anyways, let's get to his numbers.
Usually that's not a crazy percentage, but it was $879. Remember, $1,500 came in. You gotta pay your employees.
That still adds up. I totally agree. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Unknown shopping, that's usually Target, Walmart, Amazon. We saw a lot of Amazon. We don't know what that necessarily is, so we just put it as unknown. 3.4%, also known as 4.6 or
more debts.
$65 you're spending. Taquitos and other miscellaneous things, like the QuadPay, which we learned was Amazon.
Yes.
Gas stations
for like $300,000, like in legal fees and getting me into rehabs and So I feel like it's my obligation to help.
Well, that's really cool, but that's also taking care of their sick son, right? Like, just to show an alternative perspective.
Yeah.
Taking care of their sick son. If you're, and of course, in no way would anyone ever want this to happen. So just go through here. If, let's say the 12-year-old ends up down an addictive path in the future, then they end up getting clean like you, but you put a lot of money into them getting clean. Would you expect or want for them to give any money back to you?
No.
There you go. So I know it's a part of the culture. It's part of the identity when it comes to that. And but just because it has been doesn't mean it needs to be. And I'm just trying to look at your financial situations specifically.
Yeah.
Especially since they'll know.
Yeah, unfortunately, like when you grow up in that kind of a culture where there are certain expectations and certain understanding that you're supposed to care for your elderly when they're in their aging years, and you're supposed to like take on those responsibilities to support them in those years because they put in a lot of work to bringing you to this point where you are. Those can be very difficult expectations, especially in this kind of a society where you're getting taxed to death even before you get anything from the government, and whatever you get at the end of the day, you have to set aside a little portion to support your family members. It can be a very difficult situation, and I definitely want to second Caleb's motion that people shouldn't feel the obligation to support their family member if it's not something that's in their financial best interests.
What would happen if you didn't pay the property taxes? What would happen?
Well, I want to get into the process where I get it all in a trust and get an estate plan for when my parents do pass away. I don't want to pay the capital taxes on that, the capital gains on it, because my parents bought that property in '91 for $30,000.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one for $30,000 in '91.
Incredible.
And it is now worth like 1.5.
Oh yeah.
1.5.
Oh yeah.
And so my parents are fairly well off.
Exactly, but house poor again because they don't have any money to show for it. So that's where it comes down to. Yes, absolutely. The trust and everything. Have a conversation about that if that hasn't already been happened, and that should be done today. But what would happen today if you did not pay this year's taxes? What would happen? Would they pay it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have never been. I'm the only one who's owed on back tax this 1 year.
Yes. I just want to make sure it's not a they won't pay it type.
Okay, well, it's I don't know. I don't know. There's a bit of a sketch situation there. You know, he's saying that oh yeah, they're gonna be able to pay it, but I must say I'm quite skeptical of that
You
situation.
know, my parents are very, did everything. They came here to America and applied for their green card and applied for their permanent resident. They did it the right way, did everything the legal way, the right way.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure, and no doubt in my mind on any of that. So that's awesome. No, I'm cheering. I'm cheering for you. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
understand the whole situation because I'm very curious. Again, the property taxes. Did they ask you to pay the property taxes?
My mom asked for help, yeah.
Okay. Now, when that comes, that's when we're like,
How
there's
much you need?
no. Sure, yes, and but before you give money to anyone, especially in family situations where there is that moral obligation, that feeling, because anyone feels that, regardless of the culture they come from,
Mm-hmm.
of wanting to help a family member, a
Mm-hmm.
parent when they ask
Yeah.
for it. This is where like, okay, I need to know what your overall financial situation looks like before I can give it. Because what's the consequences of not doing that? You
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you're enabling bad behavior, bad financial behavior, and it's impossible to know unless you get insight into it. It really is because it's not always as blatant. They're going and getting BMWs. I'm not saying that, but you never know what's happening. Maybe they have a ton of money and they're having you pay the property taxes because you're going to take it over at some point. Maybe they're seeing you pay into the system. Exactly. That's where the conversation comes into it, though. We don't give money unless we at least understand what's happening. Just because, again, it could be.
No, I completely understand where you're coming from.
Okay, good. So
It's kind of difficult to explain unless you come from a culture where that's an expectation. It can be very difficult for you to fully understand the kind of pressure, societal pressures that come for children of immigrants to be able to support their family members. I know he's saying that he fully grasps the fact that there's pressure for you to be able to support your family member, but it's not really the same. I want to emphasize the fact that it's not really the same. The culture is different, the expectations different, the way in which society's structure is different. So I can fully understand the fact that he's suggesting that you get a good grasp of the family's financial situation, which is something I would suggest as well. But in many cases that would be very difficult, and there'd be a lot of difficult conversation had if that's even brought up at all. I can see that being a very difficult conversation for him to have. For a lot of culture, especially if it's a Nigerian culture, there's a way in which there's an expectations in which you don't question your parents where they're asking for you to be able to support them, and whatever they're doing it for you, right?
I would just do that, especially since how much do you pay your employees on a monthly basis?
On a monthly basis, it varies
Give me an average.
between 8 and 10,000 a month.
Wow, I really need to know your business income.
Why? 8 to 10,000. Yeah, if it's 4 weeks in a month, it's 8,000. If it's 5 weeks, it's 10,000.
Oh, yeah. So
That's my payroll.
those two places that you got your 1099s, do you have access to those 1099s?
I should have brought them.
Do you remember what they said?
No, no, but it's
Do
like
you know what the contracts are worth?
no.
Buddy. Buddy.
I don't even know anything about that. They just sent me that.
I'm going to ship to your door on Christmas just a very plain old storage cabinet, and I just want you to put things in them.
I will definitely do that. I'll take any advice from
And
you.
just okay, advice number one: know how much your contracts are worth.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, whatever you pay out, right? There are tax obligations that you have to meet, right? Like if you're paying your employee, there's the expectation that you're able to meet the financial obligations to pay the taxes. Are you paying them with the expectation that they're a contractor, they're gonna pay the taxes associated with that, and you're only responsible for your own taxes? And you even if you're paying them, you're supposed to be generating T4 and T whatever tax slip for them so that they can file the taxes for themselves. I don't know. It's a little bit convoluted the way in which he's describing this, but of course he probably won't have any understanding of many of these things because he doesn't even grasp. He doesn't grasp the way in which financial systems work in the Western society, or particularly in the U.S. and maybe Canada as well.
Like, what if they're undercutting you and that's why they've taken you? What if you're earning 40% less than the next option? You don't even know. You don't know how much you're bringing in from these two major contracts. Because if you're shelling out $10,000 a month, that's not an insignificant amount of money, right? For payroll, that's not insignificant. And then you need to pay, and then you only pay 3,000. Okay, step number two, a very well received CPA in your corner, absolutely.
Very.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Number three, business checking account. You go any bank, just search up best business checking accounts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have all the money that you get paid through the business go into that. Have all the money that you pay for business stuff, like your cars and all that. Well, we got to figure things out, but have it go.
I quite agree with a number of his advice.
LLC.
Yeah, I have the LLC.
You do, because you have your ION. Okay, yep.
I have the LLC. Yes, I have that.
Good. Might be worth S corping at some point in the future, because what you can do is you can put yourself on a payroll, and then
I quite agree with that. He needs to like set up a proper financial system for his business in order for him to be able to claim the deductions and be able to withdraw money from the business. You know, pay himself as an employee of the business, right? Like once the business is incorporated, he can register himself as an employee of the business. That way he can continue to um, tax shelter the number of his income that way. But nonetheless, this is not a financial advice. I'd suggest, like Caleb mentioned, that he gets a really good financial advisor and really look into what he's bringing in on a monthly basis and what he's paying out to his employees, right? Like, is there an expectation that his employees are going to file taxes or he's going to file taxes on their behalf and pay a certain percentage for their 401k and all that kind of stuff that they have in the US. All of those things need to be figured out.
It depends how much you're collecting in distributions, because it could reduce your taxable income on your distributions. That's a part of a different conversation, because that's not what we're worried about right now. I'm worried about paying this next year's taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am too. That's what my wife's gonna help me with.
What taxes are you behind on, business or personal?
Both.
When's the last time you filed personal?
I would say personal about 2 years.
So if there's anyone who don't put this the IRS.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, my dad tells me. That's why I'm trying to.
You lose everything you built.
I know. That's why I'm trying to get all the.
Yeah, you do not want to mess with the CRA, IRS, any of those tax people. You know, Uncle Sam's gonna come for your money. They're gonna come for your house. They're gonna come for your cars. You do not want to be messing around with those guys.
That's situated. Trust me, getting everything in order. Because I was, 2 years, just got clean 2 years,
Yes, absolutely. No, for sure. That makes sense. I mean, you're playing catch up on a little life, and that does make sense. I want to get you to a good point.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Producer, any progress on income? You're just manually doing it? Oh, jeez.
That's some dedication.
All right, thank you. Well, she's manually doing your income because, again, that checking account sucks. So we're obviously going to do a quick and dirty version. So, We'll see. But okay, so we'll get that number. Let me figure out your personal financial situation outside of obviously. Well, first of all, your minimum monthly payments and debts. Let's assume that other one's going to go away, like you said it did.
Yeah.
So 600 plus.
Anyways, that is a bit of a overview of this video. My advice to this individual is for him to get his financial situations, especially tax situation with the government, under control. Make sure that he's set up financial bank account for himself. Look into ensuring that he has a good financial accountant so that he can file his taxes on a monthly basis like he's supposed to have been filing them. All of those things are very, very important. And again, I quite admire the courage that it takes for him to get clean and set his life on the right track. Yeah, if there's anything that I admire most is people who have battled through such difficult situation in life and have made it to the other end. If you enjoyed this video, you want to see more videos like this, click the thumbs up button, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.